Hey folks, we're going to talk about casings, and what you can do is only limited by your imagination. One of our first examples would be our Craftsman shaker / modern farmhouse, 3.5 inch, 3/4 by 3.5. B105 is our profile number, and we've started out with a typical 45 miter joint, and I've assembled it just for demonstration purposes. But with this style casing, you can make your entire door sides pre-assembled on your workbench, transfer them from your workbench, put them up in place, and get the nail gun going. And it can make install that easy, following our reveal lines with that little offset to really bring out the depth of that molding and create another straight architectural shadow line. Let yourself be the designer and see what you come up with. So here's a neat little trick or tip that I like to do when I'm applying casing to a door unit or window trim. Handy little tri-square. And I've got it set at about 3/16 of an inch. And what that is going to do is I'm going to put a couple marks on the edge of the door jamb and establish a reveal line or a reveal mark. Establish my corner, and now when you get your casing pieces cut, you can actually measure for your casing off of this now. But what it does, this is the reveal line that I'm referring to. It's a little bit of a standoff line. It establishes another architectural offset line. It gives your casing depth of field, so it stays pronounced. Conventionally, typically, I guess, we see our moldings and we see a 45 miter cut at the corners of the windows and doors. That's one option. There's others, and we'll cover those. So we want to go ahead and start out with this B112 Baird Brothers 3.25 inch profile. We've established our inside miter, the short length, by measurements that we had on our jambs, our reveal lines. And different guys will do it different ways. I like to start with the head casing, and then that allows me to work my joint a little more so with my left and right legs, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and start with that, and you'll see as we go along, it gives you a little more liberty as far as moving the leg pieces and establishing that nice tight joint before we get too far along in the process. I'm using my 18 gauge to go into the jamb. Now, with that somewhat secure, I'm not nailing the top just yet. So that gives me a little flexibility in fitting my legs with the 45 cut. If I need to tweak that a little bit, I still have that available to me. And something I like to do is try to cross nail these pieces, and then we just go down and follow our margin line. And you still have some flexibility when you get down towards the end here. Okay folks, so like we're talking, when it comes to trimming out your doors and windows, you have options. It's not that hard to accomplish. With the use of base foot blocks, plinth blocks, and rosette blocks, I'm gonna start with my foot block and switching out guns. And the reason I switched out the gun was going into that 3/4 inch, the edge of the jamb. I wanted to try and avoid any blowouts, nail blowouts out the face of the jamb or anything like that. Okay, so I established my reveal up at the top, and then I'm gonna work it down. There you go, folks. With the use of plinth blocks, a beaded casing, it can be that quick on a beautiful decorative door and window treatment, and it's beautiful. this next one is probably one of my favorites, my personal favorites. These are referred to as pediments or head pediments. And it's a door or window treatment where you take 2, 3, 4 different molding elements and combine them together to create a real nice headdress across the top of the window or door. And the one we've come up with today uses 3 different elements, very, very user-friendly, very DIY-friendly, in that I have a piece of 1x6, dimensional 1x6, poplar finger jointed, I'm working with today, paired that with our little, what we call scribe mold. It's our B934 scribe mold. And then the pediment being capped off with our B404 cap molding. And in putting them together, you can get a real good idea of the side profile. Okay, so with some basic outside corner miter returns on our 2 profiled moldings, our 404 cap and our 934 scribe, this really comes to life as a nice head pediment. All right, so I'm going to pair that with our 3.5-inch Craftsman casing, and I have a little pediment cutaway made up. I'll top it off with that, and you guys can see for yourselves. Okay, so like I say, I had this little cutaway of the 3 pieces of molding, 1x6 scribe mold, cap mold, and it's going to take this whole ensemble to a little different level. There you go. So, Craftsman-style casing, dressed up just a little bit with a 3-piece pediment head, and painted or stained, it looks beautiful.